Doctors could be on the brink of a breakthrough.
Migraines.
How to control them.
Tame a migraine.
A severe migraine.
Throbbing, recurring headaches.
Given all the noise, navigating the migraine experience can be confusing and scary, but you do not have to do it alone. Welcome to the Migraine Guy Podcast, the official podcast of themigraineguy.com and theheadachreview.com. Now, here's your host.
What is up, pod people? It's Kevin here. I am back with the podcast. Sorry for the multi-week break that was both unannounced and unplanned on my part. My wife and I moved houses and cities, and that took obviously a lot of time, and had to disassemble all of the components used for the podcast and the YouTube channel. So a lot of those were in boxes. For a few days I couldn't find certain pieces that I needed, and then just kind of the general stuff that we've been doing since we moved into the house. This is a almost 100-year-old house that we're living in now, and really like the house overall. But the previous tenants, not even tenants, the previous owners used it as a rental property, and so there were quite a number of things to get made right in the house. Had to pull up the nasty carpet that was there because there was a number of liquids that had been spilled over the years that had soaked into the carpet pad, which had soaked through to the wood floors, and so there was some nastiness growing there. Refinished the floors, did a bunch of cleaning in the kitchen, and removal of broken and out-of-date appliances, and using some Craigslist action to get some updated and not broken appliances in the house. Had some leaking from the HVAC system that I had to take care of as well. Just, normal new move-in stuff. You go hard for a couple days, then you want to take a day off, and all sorts of silliness associated with that. So I do apologize for the basic absence of the podcast and the YouTube channel updates for the month of August, but I am back now, and I will not be stopped. So what are we going to talk about on today's podcast? Well, I didn't really have a full format planned. I didn't have any particular topic I wanted to talk about, so I figured we'd just kind of hit on a number of smaller things to talk about that have been kind of on my mind while I have not been doing the podcast or updating the YouTube channel. The first thing to keep in mind is that there's an ongoing online migraine awareness campaign that has reached out to me and would like me to help raise awareness both about what they're doing and ways that their website can help you understand your headache or migraine condition, specifically your migraine condition. And definitely if you're new to migraines, it's a great tool because they have some ways in which you can answer some questions on their website and figure out if maybe you need to talk to your doctor about a particular kind of migraine rather than just talking about migraines in general. You might be a little surprised to know that there's variability in the migraine experience. And so the campaign is called No Time for Migraines, and that's 4 as in the number 4, so notimeformigraines.com. You can go there. They have a fairly fun website as relates to migraine. They have some avatars. They have which are little cartoons to depict different kinds of little cartoon characters to depict different kinds of migraines, and so it can help explain to a child as well as to an adult different things about migraine. So head over to the website. They also have, I think they have a weekly newsletter that'll give you updates about the campaign, and then they'll also send out maybe once a month or so emails about migraine news in general. So it's kind of a fun way to help people who maybe are new to migraines and very scared understand what's going on. It's a way for people who are well seasoned in the migraine game to kind of just reassess and see if there's any sort of new ways of talking about migraine, new things to consider that they should be talking about with their doctor. And these are, this is another campaign, so in some sense you might think, well, what's this website going to help me with? Maybe nothing, but it is another big tool that migraineurs can use and have access to in a very, very easy way, very nicely designed and well done website to help you get migraine information. And the benefit of that is that means that more people are not only aware that migraineurs need particular assistance and need particular kinds of education, but they're also providing it. And so that's why I love getting on board with really any kind of awareness campaign, because the more that people talk about something, the less confused it is, the less understood it is, and the more money that can come for research for medications. And so that really is a big plus for the No Time for Migraines campaign. If you watch the YouTube channel, the Migraine Guy YouTube channel, I'll be doing some videos for them. I think the first video is going to be posted pretty soon, and then the second, third, and fourth videos will be coming out over the next few weeks. So check those out if you want to hear the content, see the content in that medium. I will be doing a little bit on the podcast here about it, but not a ton, more mention of the website than doing any sort of content. They wanted more video content from me, and so that is what I am going to be providing. Yeah, let's stay, let's see, next small topic. Let's stay in the vein of awareness. There is I don't remember the first place I saw it, but there is an author, Judith Klossner, and she is a children's book author, and she recently put out a book called Noah the Narwhal, A Tale of Ups and Downs, and the book is actually about helping... Well, sorry, the story is about a character with chronic pain trying to help his community understand what that means. And so since it's a children's book designed to help them understand what being a chronic pain sufferer is, specifically as relates to what we're interested in. They talk about migraines, and this is pretty interesting. I don't have any children of my own, but I do have nieces and nephews that enjoy hanging out with me. I'm kind of like a human jungle gym for them. I like Legos, and so we spend a lot of time playing Legos, or them jumping on me and wanting to wrestle. And sometimes it's just really difficult to fully engage with them, because sometimes you've just got a bad migraine and you don't want to say no to them, but you also can't fully say yes to hanging out. And so this is a pretty cool idea, creating a children's book that helps describe and helps children understand chronic pain conditions. There's also an interview with Judith on migraine.com's Facebook page. If you're on Facebook, or even if you're not, I think you can still watch the video, but just go over to migraine.com's Facebook page, and this was posted, let's see, September 7th at about 6:36 a.m. is what it's telling me here. If you just scroll down, you'll notice that a friend of the show, Lisa Benson, is doing the interview with Judith, and it is basically, I think, like 4 or 5 minute long interview. So it just gives you a little overview of what the book is about and how she kind of decided to make it, and how her creative process was influenced by her chronic migraines. And so that was kind of fun, and I think it's just another way to help children understand. I know in the Migraine Guy Facebook support group that there's a number of parents that really do struggle with the ability to be the kind of parent that they want to be, while also being the migraine sufferer that they actually are. And so a tool like this might actually help not obviously get rid of your migraines, but it can help the people in your life that you're really trying to be there for, namely your children, help them understand that sometimes factors outside of your control are going to limit what you're able to do and what you're capable to do. And so I think that's a pretty cool just a pretty cool tool to keep in the old toolbox. So that, again, is Noah the Narwhal, or Narwhal? No, sorry, yeah, Noah the Narwhal. I'm not a zoologist. A Tale of Ups and Downs, and Judith Klossner is the author. So go check that out. So what else do we got going on in the old migraine awareness world? Let's see. If you're not following me on Twitter, I would recommend you do so. I tend to post articles more frequently on Twitter, because Twitter tends to get more interaction with that. But let's see, what is in the news? There was let's see, a kind of clickbaitish title recently. Let me pull it up here. Yeah, body clock gene variations may lead to stress migraines. And basically the article just was, describing another study that came out that said that particular kinds of stresses or stress in general for a subset of the population can trigger migraines, which we all know to be already the case. But in the study, they specifically looked at financial stress. And so you kind of get the clickbaitish, does financial worries cause migraines, or does financial stress cause, stress causes migraines, and we know this. There's no reason to think that, financial stress is going to be substantially different than, I don't know, some other kind of stress, stressing about an upcoming family gathering or something like that, right? Stress, is probably stress to a large degree. And so the reason I thought the article was interesting was because it's becoming so well known that stress is a migraine trigger that they're that they're actually being allowed to kind of make clickbaitish titles because people must know in general what migraines generally are, or at least more so than they did in the past, because now they don't have to take time to explain migraine. They just have the word migraine in there, and then they focus on the clickbaity part, the financial stress associated with migraines. And so it's kind of interesting in terms of just kind of like a meta journalistic perspective that there is this transition to clickbaity titles, and not just the kind of clickbaity titles that we all hate, the 7 natural methods to get rid of your migraine. That's clickbait that we're familiar with. This is a new kind of clickbait title. Financial worries may cause migraines in people, because it's clearly silly. It's just clearly a case of using a particular kind of stress to be a stand-in for any kind of stress. But got me to click on it, so I guess I'm not much better than anybody else in terms of clickbait. So there is that in the news. Oh yeah, there's also going on in the UK right now, I think September 3rd, through the 9th. So that I'm recording on the 8th, so tomorrow is the end of the week, but it is Migraine Awareness Week in the UK. And so if you do use social media, use the hashtag not just a headache. And that is what lots and lots of people are doing on Twitter and Facebook to help raise awareness online. The more people that use a hashtag, on Twitter, for example, it gets to do what's called trending, which means that as people are scrolling down, it will show a list of basically the top 10 hashtags people are using. And so the more people that use the not just a headache hashtag means that more people will be exposed to people who are tweeting with that hashtag. And so it's another way to help raise awareness. Now, there's a lot of other stuff going on in the UK while they do Awareness Week, but for those of us who don't live there and can't really participate, just adding the hashtag to your tweets or to your Facebook posts can help raise awareness just a little bit. And if the millions of us that have migraines do it, then of course that little bit of awareness from each of us is going to help as we all do it together. So that is pretty cool. I guess this is more like a how can you be raising awareness. That's kind of the general theme for today's podcast. I didn't plan it that way, but that is the way it's working out. So what else we got going on in migraine news? I don't know if you guys, I've mentioned it one time in the podcast before, but there's a really great website. Let me make sure I don't screw it up. Headache and migraine news.com. I've chatted with the guy who does most of the article posting, and he's very knowledgeable about migraines and very, very nice guy to talk with. Excuse me a moment. And he has a ton of material on this website. He's had the website for a number of years. The basic structure format of the website is kind of like a blog. But it has lots of content. You can search for particular topics. Say you want to know about magnesium and migraines and what the best kind of magnesium is. He's got something on there. He very, very, very often has good footnoting of any relevant articles that are useful in understanding what his post is about. So in the magnesium article, for example, he doesn't just say, well, use these kind of magnesiums and not these kinds. He talks about the studies. He talks about which studies are more reliable and why. He talks about particular researchers and why they say the things that they do. And then if you want to read more, you want to get more into the literature, you can check out the footnotes and go read all about it. So it's a really great website. Most people know about it, but I occasionally come across migraineurs who don't know about it. And so it's really useful, and it's just headacheandmigrainenews.com. I'm not getting any, requests from him to help promote the page. I just thought that if you're not using it and you have a medical oriented question about migraines, it's always my first or second stop just to see what he has about it, and then I'll typically take the citations he has and go read that material, and then that usually branches off into a lot more reading for me to do. So it's a good way to get a quick overview if you have a medical question about your migraines, and then if you want more detail, you can of course pursue that as well. So headacheandmigrainenews.com is another great website to go check out. Let's see, is there anything else? There's been a lot of activity on the YouTube channel lately. I've had lots of people commenting, and some people being mean to me, actually. Had what was the one comment? Where did they go? Let's see. I don't know if I'm going to be able to find it so quickly, but it was basically blasting me for the YouTube video review I did of Somnilight's Migraine Relief Glasses. If you're in the market for a migraine sunglass or a migraine relief glass, I really do like Somnilight, both because of their cost. They're less than 50% of competitors, so if you're using something like Axon or Theraspec, their base model, like the lowest priced model, is about $100. Now, the product works really well. Their stuff works really well. I'm not criticizing them, and they have a lot of style options, so you can choose lots and lots of different frames and lens styles. But with Somnilight, they have a much more restricted set of styles, but that also means that they don't have to charge as much money. So you get something like $30 or $40, and you can buy a pair of migraine relief glasses. Anyway, if you want more information about that, go to the YouTube channel and watch my review of all three of those brands. But someone was recently commenting about how I was an idiot and rude for wearing glasses indoors, and then when I explained again the content that was in the video, why you would want to wear a migraine sunglass or a migraine relief glasses if you get migraines, they just responded with, "It's rude to wear it indoors." So it wasn't any sort of vicious attack. It was just interesting because none of the comments I've received on the old YouTube channel have been attacking or negative. Most people just stumble across a video, say that they get migraines as well, and here's their experience with whatever the topic of the video was. And then we, chat back and forth a bit, and I tell them if they want to come over to the Facebook support group, that's available. Just in case they need a community that they can talk with, and a community that will be there for them 24/7. Likewise, if you're listening to this and you need a support group, a place you can just go and kind of vent about your migraine issues or ask questions, but you also don't want to be spammed a lot by people claiming to have this or that cure or trying to get your money, just head over to Facebook and search the Migraine Guys support group. Our motto there is "You are not alone," because you really aren't alone. You might feel alone, you might be isolated from people in your your geological location, but you do not need to be alone given that we have the internet. So you can head over there and request to join the group. Make sure to answer the questions that we ask that get that pop up when you request access, and then we will let you in. Me and Michael and Sarah are the moderators there. So there's a little plug for the support group. But yeah, so on the YouTube channel, there's a lot of comments going, and I guess I was a little happy to see that some people are being jerks to me, because if you're not being criticized, you're probably not doing anything. So good to have some criticism. Let the hate flow, people. Let the trolls unleash on me. Anything else to talk about in this first podcast back? Yeah, so kind of going forward, I have an interview that I need to heavily edit with Lisa Alvo of alvowellness.com. She is a proponent of a nutrition-based focus on preventing and reducing migraine frequency and intensity. And we had a chat before I moved, actually, and was hoping to get back to edit before we moved, and then things just kind of snowballed for a variety of reasons, and I didn't get to. The audio on my end, my microphone kind of got really echoey. I'm not really sure why Skype is doing that to me. I might need to adjust which program I use to do the interviews, maybe Zoom or something, or Google Hangouts. But so I just need to re-record what I say using just this microphone without Lisa there, and then I will upload that both to the podcast and the YouTube channel. Then we have some stuff on the horizon that I need to get more detail on. I want to talk about the CGRP stuff that's going on right now, the upcoming medication that lots of people are very excited about, both migraine sufferers and researchers, because of the drastic number of people that are finding relief. Huge amounts of people in studies are getting relief from these CGRP meds, but there's also a lot of things to take into consideration. Cost, of course, being one of them. And so we're going to talk about that in a couple weeks. And then what else we're going to be doing? I've got a lot of stuff on the back burner, hopefully some more interviews. There's a couple people in the Facebook support group that have expressed interest in being interviewed, one of whom owns a company that helps do things like provide aromatherapy and stuff for people, and I found that to be pretty helpful. I've done a review of some of their stuff on the YouTube channel. And then there's also a cluster headache specialist who he also has a very crazy schedule, and so getting time to do a 20 or 30 minute interview has been a little difficult, but he has expressed thorough interest in wanting to do that, so we'll be doing that. And then just some normal stuff. Got some topic-based podcasts I want to do in the next couple weeks. Want to talk about perhaps some environmental considerations to think about, say, where you live with your migraines, and some other things that I've noticed about myself that I want to pay more attention to, and see if, now that I've moved from one place to another, are there certain ways in which my migraines are occurring or not occurring that could point to some sort of environmental consideration about my migraines. We're also going to be talking more about CBD oil. CBD oil is becoming much talked about, not only amongst pain sufferers, but in media at large, because of its pain relief properties, but also the fact that depending on which state you're in, hemp CBD-based products versus marijuana-based CBD products might be legal or illegal. The federal government obviously has something to say about whether or not any of them are legal or illegal, and it's kind of this weird nexus where you might be able to purchase something, which technically, if the police wanted to, they could put you in jail for, and so need to probably do a little more clarification about CBD oil, just so everyone understands the basic legal structure about it in the United States at least, and then provide some resources so that you can check your individual state. So all that stuff's on the horizon. Anyway, now that I am moved in mostly anyway and have the computer set back up, I can continue to pump out this content for you. So let's see, what have we been doing? I've been uploading on Thursdays, I think, so we'll continue to have podcast Thursdays. And of course, make sure to like the Facebook page, the Migraine Guy Facebook page. I'll always post when I do a new podcast or YouTube video there. Check me out on Twitter, just search The Migraine Guy. Also, check me out on Instagram. Check me out everywhere as The Migraine Guy. Also follow The Headache Review, the website that hosts this podcast for all things review-oriented about migraines. They also have discount codes there for things like those Somnolite migraine glasses. You can get 10% off. So that is pretty great of them. And until next time, pod people, take it easy. If you want to help keep everything that the Migraine Guy does free, then you can become a patron over at the website patreon.com. That's Patreon.com. Patreon lets people contribute funds to other people whose work they value. Becoming a patron does things for me, such as allowing me to buy new products so that I can do product review videos so that you know whether or not a given migraine product actually works before you buy it. It also helps me do things like upgrade the microphones and cameras for both the YouTube channel and this podcast. And more importantly, it helps me be accountable to you, my migraine community. You can pledge as low as $1 a month if you want to, and every single dollar does help. Just head over to patreon.com/themigraineguy to become a patron today.